Popular subject of raising kids in the digital age. We all have our fair share of challenges as parents, so instead of me telling you about it, I thought we'd let the numbers speak for themselves. Can we have the statistics video, please? Ladies and gentlemen, just requesting everyone to be seated, please, for the duration of the event. Thank you so much. Well, we know that as parents, we all want the best for our kids, but as I was saying, the numbers speak for themselves, and the statistics are pretty shocking. So up next, we have a video on a couple of parents and children talking about screen time. Let's find out what they have to say. Can we have the video, please?
Yeah, she holds a smartphone, but we do have a check on that.
The reason one was, I wanted him to be, having the freedom and at the same time be responsible for what he is.
Because he was traveling to school.
Okay.
And that's the reason he told me.
I wanted to communicate with my friends in Instagram and Snapchat.
I don't really use Instagram because not my thing.
The interactions with parents started, reducing a bit. Right?
Screen time. 3 hours, 30 minutes. Board exam achinde. Then imagine there's no exams.
Reels, especially on negativity.
What he was consuming when he was 14, 15 years is more threatening than what he's watching now.
We came to know that she sometimes talks to strangers.
I thought they were my friends.
a certain mind should not be corrupted at this age. As this was disturbing.
In India right now, people are not yet used to these kind of dark humor. I think the audience is the problem.
It is totally not fitting into our culture at all, Yatish.
Because looking at these kind of videos, the crime is going to really go up.
Most of us are working and we'll be engaged in our own day-to-day task and all that.
We need to sometimes have a bird's eye view on them.
There's somebody who's watching me. That thought should be there.
That will be great. You'll be okay with that?
Yes. There's going to be something that externally there's something going to really help us get our children in check and all that. It's actually helping our next generation.
I wish we can spend more time with us than the phone.
Are you okay with that? Really? Are you pretty sure? Good.
So, ladies and gentlemen, the facts are hard, but there they are. We all want what's best for our children, and that includes giving them the freedom to explore the digital world, while also keeping them safe and ensuring that they're spending their time in ways that align with your values. You heard it from several parents like yourselves. There's so much of worry and there's so much of stress when it comes to talking or even thinking about this particular subject. We're here today because together we all hope to make parenting in the digital age a little bit easier. We now have a video. Can we have the AV, please? The teaser video, please. Requesting everyone to please remain seated. Thank you so much. We'll come back to the video in just a moment, but now I'd like to call upon an expert on the subject of mental health and of course the parenting challenges faced in today's world. I'd like to invite on stage Dr. C. Ramasubramanian, popularly known as Dr. CRS, a visionary in the mental health field and community psychiatry. Doctor, over to you.
Good evening to everybody. At the outset, I congratulate the organizers for initiating this wonderful, noble and novel program. They have initiated this program at the right moment and it is the need of the hour. My dear friends and ladies and gentlemen, I am in the field of psychiatry for past 50 years. In the 50 years, we have seen so many health hazards. Once upon a time, the tuberculosis was threatening the humanity. Then came the leprosy. Then came the polio. Then came the HIV. Then came our friend Corona last year. These are all the major health hazards this great country faced so far, and successfully we overcome that. Now there is another major health hazard it is going to threatening the younger generation and the future generation. In fact, in the 50 years, when I started my career, I have seen so many addictions, alcohol addictions. Then scenario has changed. Then came the cannabis addiction. Then scenario has changed. Then came the heroin and pethidine addictions. Then the scenario has changed. That drug tablets, benzodiazepine addictions. My dear friends and ladies and gentlemen, with a heavy heart, with a lot of anguish in my mind, I am telling, there is another addiction we are facing and we are seeing almost daily. That is a technological addiction. This is a major problem. This problem not only affects the individual, but also it affects the entire family. It not only affects the entire family, it also affects the entire society. And in this situation, this is the one dependent, the technological addiction. It not only affects the physical system, individual physical system, it also affects the individual psychological system. And another important thing, it affects the entire psychological aspect of the family. Almost daily, every day, I am seeing at least 3 or 4 the cases of students' community. And you will be shocked to surprised to know that National Mental Health Survey conducted by Government of India in 2016, 7.3% of the population adolescents are suffering from the serious type of psychological problems, especially in the adolescent period. You can imagine the population of the great country. You can calculate with 7.3%. And in this 7.3%, majority of the population, they are dependent on technological addictions. And recently, SCARP, one of the reputed NGO of Chennai, they have conducted a survey on psychological problems in and around the Chennai area. 30% of the students are suffering from some sort of psychological problem. The root cause is technological addictions. So, the need is more. As a mental health professionals, I am very much worried. What is the solution? How to solve this, the pandemic, the problem? How I am going to wipe the tears of the parents who are asking for the solution? Medicine alone will not help. When I am searching for the solution, when I am searching for the remedy, when I am searching for the answer, today I got the answer. That is why I congratulate the organizers. So thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Doctor, for your valuable insights. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear what Madhavan has to say about parenting in the digital age. I think most of you have probably already seen this video as he posted it yesterday on Instagram. But for those of you that haven't, let's take a look.
As a parent, do you feel that the screen and social media is parenting your child more than you are? Are you afraid for the physical and mental health of your child because the child is doing more what the social media is telling it to do as opposed to what you want? Are you scared that the social media has become your child's best friend and worst enemy? As a parent, are you irritated that you never know when the child is going to come out of the bathroom, when they take their phones and they're with them? Is your child looking down upon you because you're not as cool as the stuff on the screen? As a parent, I went through all of that. But now we parents have a friend in a genie. Stay tuned.
All right, we have another small
As an academic
snippet.
and educational institute, are you tired by your professors and teachers constantly being undermined by students armed with knowledge from the social media universities? As a professor, are you exasperated that you have to talk to the heads of the students instead of their faces because their faces are buried in screens as you teach? As a professor or a teacher, do you find that your train of thought and your involvement is constantly being challenged because of some joke on social media that has nothing to do with the subject you're teaching? Has the ability of the student to multitask between the screen and the rest of his life become more of a curse than a talent? Hold on. There is a solution in sight as a genie becomes your best friend in this fight. Stay tuned.
Well, our genie wanted to choose a special representative, but as you can see, Madhavan's passion is to make a difference and his commitment is to protecting Indian parents' interests. So ladies and gentlemen, the genie is thrilled to welcome him as our strategic partner and stakeholder. Please put your hands together for Madhavan.
அனைவருக்கும் வணக்கம். A very good afternoon to all of you. I have a lot of interesting things to share with you today, impactful, touching, at the same time a little bit frightening. But before I do that, I'd like to invite on stage the people behind this startup, behind this venture, and I call it a noble venture, which I think will hopefully change the lives for the parents as well as the child. I request the members of Parent Genie as well as Sasi to come on to the stage and take care of the proceedings.
Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for Sasi Naga, founder and chairman, Hari Gadiraju, founder and CEO, Kutralishwaram, partner and CIO, and Raj Rongala, partner and COO. And now we are ready to launch a solution that will revolutionize parenting in the digital world, requesting Madhavan to please do the honors. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting to you Parent Genie. Can we have a big round for applause? Your wish for a safer, balanced digital world for your kids. And just like that, magic is now in every parent's hands. Thank you so much, gentlemen. We'll have you take a seat while we chit-chat a little bit with the audience. Starting us off, I'd like to request Madhavan to please say a few words.
Thank you, Polama. I'd like the audiences to know what Parent Genie is, what is this app, how is it going to help us change the lives of our children. So I'm going to hand it over to the one man who can tell you all about it, Mr. Sasi.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Sasi, the founder and chairman and visionary entrepreneur, philanthropist, all of that. Sasi, over to you.
அனைவருக்கும் வணக்கம். Good afternoon to you all. Thanks for coming. I'll just start with a brief of what is Parent Genie. So Parent Genie is an app, mobile app for digital safety and digital control for the kids that can be used by parents based on location. Okay. With that, thanks Maddie for launching this officially. Maddie is a strategic partner and stakeholder of the company. So I will start with Xphoria's brief. If someone has to know about Parent Genie, they need to know Xphoria. So Xphoria, global group of companies. So we are located in US, we are headquartered in Dallas, Texas, and we are in 7 countries. So we have many verticals, starting with IT, healthcare. So we are a Hollywood movie productions company as well. We have some Kollywood movies as well. We have about 600 movies that we have done in VFX, including Spider-Man, Avengers. And we are also in the sports. We own a junior IPL team in the US, which is minor league cricket. And then we have a foundation. Recently, we have converted Abdul Kalam School that's in Ramanathapuram to a smart school. So there are various activities the foundation is doing. So for some reason, somehow we get pulled into kids, so which we are happy about it. And now with Parent Genie, I think there is going to be a lot more benefits for the kids from Xphoria and group of companies. So let me tell you how this Parent Genie thought or idea came through. So in the whole idea way, we started in a garage. So it was actually sitting on a trash can inside garage with my co-founder, Mr. Hari Gadiraju. So we have been doing multiple products for over 14 years. Finally, we came up with a full-fledged product that Xphoria is proud to launch. And the whole reason for this product, there is one name that everyone has to remember, is Hasya, Hari's first daughter. So he basically wanted to see how she can be digitally safe. That's how the whole Parent Genie idea was born. And then I said, if we can do this safety to our house, why don't we do it across the world? Why don't we make a product? That's how Parent Genie was born. So thanks to Hari. He always stays behind the scene, and I'm very proud to have him as my co-founder. So I just wanted to introduce some of the key team members. One is Mr. Raj. He is COO of the global group of companies. Without him, I don't think this product would have seen the light very soon. We have been traveling last 25 years, so he's my benchmate, classmate, and all the way till here. He's my best buddy. So thanks for trusting in and being with me. Then we have Kutralishwaran. So I think, how many of you know Kutralishwaran? Heard Kutralishwaran, you have resonate my young age. அவரால் நிறைய திட்டு வாங்கியிருக்கேன். அந்த டைமில் குற்றாலீஸ்வரன் 12 வயசில் என்ன பண்ணாரு, நீங்கள் என்ன பண்ண அப்படின்னு சொல்லி எல்லாருமே வாங்கியிருப்பீங்கன்னு நினைக்கிறேன். ஸோ he did it at the age of 12. Why, how அப்படின்றத I let Kutralishwaran speak. What is the key takeawayன்றத you can all listen to it. So we are excited to launch this product US, UK, Middle East, Malaysia, Singapore, and India. Right now, we're doing only in these locations. And particularly, being a Tamilian, Chennai born, I just wanted to make sure while we are launching globally, Chennai should be the place where we launch it officially, and then we go from here to everywhere. So, thank you for supporting that to make grand success. So obviously it's a grand mission. A single person cannot do this. So we have a huge team. A lot of people sitting in the back. Some people are in US, UK, other countries. So a big shout out for everyone sitting in there, making it happen, literally working till 4 a.m., 5 a.m. to make this happen and come to a release, because it's a very complicated technology product, not very easy to fix a major problem that we are all facing. So all your days and nights, because I wanted it to be released in Mahashivaratri, so that's one of the reasons we had to do a double work. So I think kudos to my team, and with that I also thank all the Exforia people. We call them Exporians. So everyone is like passionate about all this. So thanks to all Exforia team. Then coming to how this product is gone to a whole different level. Otherwise we would have just done a simple product launch and closed it off. So the minute I met Maddie, so it was 3 to 5 minutes into the meeting with Maddie, I understood I am probably the least knowledgeable person in this subject, and we have found an expert. So he was very, very, very knowledgeable on this topic, and he was way interested in how to bring a change in the community, in the society, and how he can help us. And with that, we did not stop. He became a strategic partner and full stakeholder of the company as well along with us. So I'm very, very happy and proud to say that Maddie is a partner with us. So thank you, Maddie, for trusting us. So lastly, all of us have been traveling for last 1.5 years to various countries, developing, meeting. So we are going B2B and B2C. So we are releasing this product for a lot of schools where they can take advantage of kids' focus by using this product. So thanks to all our family back there, my wife Saili, 3 kids, my mom, everyone. I've been on and off in family, but thanks for this, because this product will definitely make sure every other family get a lot of time with their kids and family. So personally, I have used this product. I've been using this product for 3 months in my own house. So I have 3 kids, 13, 11 and 5. So personally, what is the change? A lot of people know that your kids are using social media. They are in social media. That's all we know. We don't know how long they are using it and what app they are using it, what time they are using it, where they are using it. So this makes it very, very easy. I know exactly 6:30 p.m. my daughter is asking for Instagram, and I can approve the wish for 15 minutes or 30 minutes to use only Instagram. So that is the beauty of this product. So thanks to Hari for inventing this. So with this, I'll thank everyone, and mainly thank you press for coming here. So help us reach this good cause across. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, Sashi. Next, I'd like to call upon Hari Gadiraju, founder and CEO, innovator and tech visionary, to tell you more about the product. Hari, over to you.
Hey guys. First of all, thank you for coming, and thank you for paying attention patiently as we speak. As I've learned, this is in short supply these days, thanks to all the addiction to social media and everything. As Ceci pointed out, this is Parent Genie is something we came up with to solve the problem that's happening in my house. My daughter actually goes around now telling everybody I am the reason for this app to all her friends, and her friends tell me to stop making it. But here we are. Essentially, what I realized after my kids were born, very early on, is that at least in today's day and age, to me as a dad, I have only one purpose, which is to keep them off the screens. It turns out the kids are much more responsible, and they're more educated, they're more smart than at least what I remember I was at that age. So I'm not worried about my children in any other way. I think they're very caring, very responsible. They can take care of themselves. They have better communication skills than I do, for sure. They're definitely more funny. But when it comes to screens, it's like a drug. It's a single fight that I have with my kids every single day, since probably they were about 2 to 3 years old. Even when they don't have the screens, the only thing that's running on their mind is, when is dad going to give it to me next? And what used to happen is, when I used to work from home, and my daughter would realize, okay, daddy's on a call, he's not going to pay attention. And before I knew it, she would take my phone, and she would go into her bedroom, and she would start watching it. And this kept happening again and again and again, right? So this one time I actually saw her watching a YouTube video, very simple video, nothing that you would be alarmed about. It was a 12-year-old girl. She was doing some blog about I don't know what. But during the conversation, she casually mentions, my dad is upset that I'm spending too much time making YouTube videos, so I ran away for a day. Now he's fine with it. Right? So that scared me. What is my daughter thinking watching all this? So nothing is safe. This was like a complete PG-13 safe video, right? So what is she watching, or what is she getting into when she's in her bedroom, or when she's in the restroom, or places where she's not supposed to do anything else? And to me, it occurred that prohibition doesn't work. If you try to take away my phone, I'm not going to be happy. If I try to take away their phone, they're not going to be happy, right? So what is the solution that might actually work, that might actually make sure that I am not fighting with her more, but actually fighting less, right? Because that's the biggest problem. I'm fighting more and more and more. And if I try to take away, this just ruins our relationship, especially as she grows and becomes a teenager and a teenager, right? So it seems the answer is, like, I mean, if you think about it, right? This doesn't happen anywhere outside India, but in India, every time we walk into a room, just for a microsecond, we ask ourselves, are shoes allowed in this room? There's no app. Your mom and dad are not next to you telling you, hey, ask about this. But we have been trained as children that when you walk into a room, hey, shoes are not allowed in every room, right? So I am thinking, it's not just about stopping, restricting our kids now. It's only going to become worse and worse. So we have to give them tools that they can carry long after they grow up, where they can restrict themselves. They should not need an app. They should not need anybody telling them. And we think Parent Genie can do that, because essentially what Parent Genie does is it makes sure that, okay, we trust you, you can use the app whenever you want to, but not everywhere. Not every room, not every building, not every space is okay to use certain apps. Hopefully, what I hope is, by using this app, now we are not only making sure that they are more healthier, they're spending more time with the parents. Right now, I mean, that's my other worry, by the way, that they'll be spending more time in the bedrooms, and they'll become teenagers and they're out of the house. So at least with this, I can make sure, okay, you want to use Instagram or YouTube, fine. Sit next to me or sit somewhere in the living room. But that's one thing, right? But more importantly, whether we implement it in our houses or in schools, when even after a few months of using this, learning with this, it should be ingrained in their minds that it's not okay to use certain apps or certain phones, certain things on your phone, everywhere. So hopefully the future generation, if we train them on this concept, they might grow up, they might actually leave the home, they might go to college, they might get a job, they might get married, have kids, but they will learn in their minds, okay, it's not okay to do everything everywhere. And we hope that this is the only app. It's just a simple app. It's an app. There's nothing more to it, right? But we hope that this app, we know that this app is the only app that's going to be on your child's phone that's not going to pretend to be their friend. Every other app is trying to do that. Hey, I'm your friend, watch these fun videos, do this, do that, play games. But hopefully Parent Genie will be your friend for the parents and help the children regulate and train their minds to have better, healthy digital boundaries. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Hari. Next up, we'd love to hear from Kutralishwaran, partner and CIO, global investor, Arjuna awardee and Guinness record holder. Let's give him a round of applause.
எல்லாருக்கும் வணக்கம். 31 years. I was just actually reflecting upon it, right? It's been actually 31 years since I swam across the English Channel or created the Guinness record or been in the swimming field. Right? I'm glad you're clapping for it, but it makes me feel really ancient and old, right? So, but when I think of it, right, my entire swimming career, my sports career happened when I was in school, right from my 2nd standard till my 11th standard, right? So 2nd standard is when I learned how to swim when I was around 7 or 8 here in Chennai Woodland Swimming Pool. And then one led to another, and then I got into professional swimming circuit and a professional marathon swimmer, and the career expanded until I was in my 11th standard. And in 12th standard, I actually put down my foot and I told them no more swimming to my own family and everything else, because we all know the dreaded 12th board exams, right? And your fate is written on how you perform in your 12th boards. So that's when I kind of pivoted from swimming to education. And life took me to a completely different path after that, right? So one of the very common questions which I get when people kind of like know about my swimming, or even now when after all these years when people kind of interact with me, is what really made you go through all this at a tender age, right? You were 7 when you, crying out loud, you started learning how to swim, and then you were 12 when you kind of like crossing the channel, swam across the oceans, until I was like 16, 17, I was in the circuit. But what really made you do it, right? So when I used to deeply reflect on that myself, one thing and only one thing kind of came to my mind. It is singularly the focus, right? So the ability for me to have stayed focused on that one singular thing I was doing when I was in my schooling days was what would help me really achieve what I did back then, right? And even now when I think of it from a very high level, without focus, hardly anything is possible. Because if you look at kids these days, they're fantastically more talented than what we were at our age, right? And we all know why. I mean, thanks to all the social media, I mean, it's a con here, I'm actually thanking social media, which brings out so much of talent of kids which we are seeing. I mean, no way I could have sung like a 2-year-old is singing or 3-year-old is singing or dancing now. So many different talents are coming up. But that is one side of the story, right? There's a secondary side of the story, which Dr. CR has beautifully captured, and Sasi and Maddie and everybody else who spoke before me kind of like gave you a hint. There's a huge underbelly or dark side of the exposure to screen or exposure to social media and things like that, right? The attention and the focus of kids is completely altered today than what it was when I was growing up, right? So that will have enormous ramifications as a child grows up, right? Because that focus is a singular thing, as I told, which helps you develop into any field you want to, right? If you want to be a cricketer, you want to be a great academician, or you want to be a great doctor or anything of that sort, unless you're focused, it is very, very difficult, right? You can have the best dedication, you can have the best perseverance, or you can kind of really work hard. But if you keep lacking focus, or in other words, if you keep having distractions, then your path, you're making it difficult for yourself to kind of like go ahead, right? So that is exactly when I first heard about this application from Sasi, when he was telling me what the grand vision of Parent Genie was, and how at the fundamental level it is going to help our future generations recapture focus. It became a no-brainer for me, right? So I was passionately involved, because this is not just for the, a singular kind of a pursuit. We are actually talking about potentially impacting the generations to come. And interestingly enough, it is not a problem with just India. It's a global problem. Countries across the world, they're actually grappling with how to address this particular issue. Technology is going to become inevitable, right? We're not going to say, hey, I'm going to take away the cell phones or tablets or PCs or whatnot from the children, because it's extremely important for their development. Because as I said, their learning is enhanced and so many more positives are there, right? At the same time, without banning, how is it we can moderate it? How is it we can kind of supervise it? And how we can kind of train them, as Hari beautifully kind of articulated, to moderate the use of social media. Everything has a place and time to it, and that's what Parent Genie brings us to the table here, right? So we have embarked on a beautiful mission, and I'm super excited to be part of the core management team as a partner in this particular company. And we hope we'll be able to touch several generations to come. Because technology is going to stay with us. We are not going to be fighting technology. We have to work with technology to make the best of its positives and mitigate all the negatives. Yeah, with that, thank you. Thank you all for coming. It's a pleasure. Thanks.
Thank you so much. I'm sure the app will make a fabulous impact. And now I'd like to call upon Raj Rangala, partner and CEO, to say a few words.
Vanakkam. Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for coming here. So, everyone before me, they took you through the journey of how and why the app is built, right? I want to give a different perspective of what we've been seeing in our experiences with the teachers. You know, after parents, teachers are the most influential people in our lives. As it goes, Matru Deva Bhava, Pitru Deva Bhava, Acharya Deva Bhava, Atithi Deva Bhava, right? So all the teachers that we spoke to, they were excited that something like this was coming, right? And specifically, a specific teacher, she said something that stood in her heart, and she said, if we manage to get this app to every household, we're going to save the next generation from degeneration, right? So it was very powerful, and we were so happy to even think of that level. Like Sasi said, initially this was a small project built out of garage, and now this is going places, and with Maddie on board and his belief and conviction in this cause, like I'm just, I can't imagine the scale that could reach, and I'm hoping and praying for that, right? And what we see here on the stage is just a small part of the team. I want to bring up Mr. Hari Manikottu, one of the most amazing techie talent that I've met. He's our Chief Technology Officer, and I have the privilege to work alongside him to get the app done, right? And we have been having endless nights, long hours. The entire team has been firefighting the whole time. As you know, anyone who have the experience of building apps, that's the nature of the beast. We have to deal with it. But you need to have the right talent to tame it. And that's how it goes, right? And sudden aside thought, Dr. CRS mentioned about all the addictions they've been going through, right? And the ages. It was very thought-provoking. I was thinking, why all this are coming up, right? So technically I see that humans somehow manage to hack the dopamine receptors for us. And that's the reason why all this are coming up in the society. And the most dangerous part of what we are talking right now is previous addictions, they never got into the hands of children. And now it's very foundational and very impactful, right? So I'm very happy that we are here trying to solve the problem, and I hope everyone get to use it. And before I leave, I want to thank the extended team here, Malvika, Harsh, Balaji, Shyam, Selva, Murali. Like, there's a long list of people here who have been working hard with this. A sincere thanks to all of you. Thank you all for listening to us today. I'm so sorry. I was so eager to get out of the dais, I forgot. I would like to take a minute to show you what I've been building all this year. Thanks.
Should be.
Ever felt so close yet so distant from your children? Concerned about what your kids are up to when you're not around? That's where we come in. Introducing Parent Genie, an app designed to block location-based access and regulate your children's digital usage. Worried that your teenage kid may come across something inappropriate? With Parent Genie, you can block harmful sites and apps and keep your children safe. Is your kid addicted to social media or plays games all day? Parent Genie helps you limit their screen time as well. No more getting stressed, wondering if they reach school. Parent Genie alerts you when your kids arrive at or leave a destination. And with Parents Genie's geofencing technology, you can automate and block apps based on their locations, helping you get rid of their distractions. However, during times when they've been really good, you can grant them wishes. Why restrict when you can regulate? So leave the digital parenting to us and get started with Parent Genie today. Parent Genie, bringing your family closer together.
I think that deserves a bigger round of applause, parents in the audience, and myself included. So as you can see, the app is all about simplifying digital supervision so parents don't have to feel overwhelmed with the constant monitoring. And with Parent Genie, you're in control of what your child sees, where and when, making the experience both safe and stress-free for the whole family. So I'm sure members of the press have questions for us. We will now open the floor for a Q&A session. Unless Madhavan would like to say a few words.
And I've been...
Hello.
Yeah, okay. I've been waiting to speak to you all and I almost lost the opportunity. Thank you, Paloma. Ladies and gentlemen, members of the press, parents, my dear partners, welcome. Thank you so much for coming. And I'm glad I'm going to speak about this issue, which I am deeply impacted by. You know, நாங்களாம் சின்ன வயசுல குழந்தையா இருக்கும்போது பசங்களா இருக்கும்போது வீட்ல one thing that we heard the parents keep saying is ஏன்டா இவ்வளவு சத்தம் போடுறீங்க கொஞ்சம் வாய் மூடிட்டு இருக்க மாட்டீங்களா அதுவும் நாலு பசங்க சேர்ந்து ஒரு ரூம்ல வந்துட்டாங்கன்னா ஒரு வீட்டுக்குள்ள வந்து விளையாட ஆரம்பிச்சாங்கன்னா ஏன்டா இவ்வளவு கத்துறீங்க அப்படிட்டு அலறுவாங்க parents, you know. All new parents of teenagers today will agree with me that we don't say that anymore. If 6 or 7 friends of yours, if your child comes home, இவங்க என்ன எங்க இருக்காங்க என்ன பண்றாங்க, my friends, my son's 4 friends will come. They will sit in the room and I'm telling you, I saw this somewhere and I can relate to it completely. I'm in the living room and I'm asking my wife, என்ன பண்ணிட்டு இருக்காங்க, ஒரு சத்தமே காணோம், எல்லாம் ஒரே ரூம்ல உட்கார்ந்திருக்காங்க, என்னத்த பார்த்துட்டு இருக்காங்க, what is it that they are consuming, போன் கீன் பார்க்கறாங்களா என்னன்னு புரிய மாட்டேங்குது. So we are all nervous, right? சரி நான் சும்மா போய் பக்கத்துல உட்கார்ந்து I'm trying to see what they're doing. There are 5 guys sitting there. They're all going through reels. They're very comfortable sitting there, but they're all going through the reels. One guy will see something that is funny and he'll sit and go அதுக்கப்புறம் he won't talk about it to his friends. He'll forward it to these 5 guys. You know who has seen it, and because the other guy is now going 8 பேர் சேர்ந்து தனித்தனி டயத்துல ஒரே ஜோக்ல சிரிக்கிறாங்க. But they're not talking to each other. They're vibing with each other. They're playing something called Fortnite. Now, the only time I hear them, the voices, is when they are playing Fortnite. Not because they're talking to each other. It's because they've got the headsets and these 5 guys in India are fighting 5 guys in Netherlands and Russia and real 5 guys. So they are talking amongst each other to their partners around the world saying, flank me from here, shoot him from there. And they don't take names. Correct me if I'm wrong. By the way they are talking on the mic, some guy in Poland knows that my son is addressing him. He doesn't even say the name. The perception level is so high that if I want you to come and, you know, support me from the left while I go and attack from the right, he'll just say left flank, the guy who's being addressed to without his name being known, without the language being known, without the tradition or culture being similar, he knows who Vedant is talking to. That level of perception is incredible amongst the teenagers today. But what I'm here to talk about today is three things. What is screen time? What is social media? What is the mental and psychological effect of this? The physiological effect of this? How does it change the family structure? And what we are trying to do. This is what I'm going to talk to you about. I don't know how many of you all remember many years ago, there was something called the blue whale. Do you all remember the blue whale? You all remember. For those of you who don't know what the blue whale was, it's about a decade ago. In today's world, and I think 10 years ago, the one thing that every individual in the world is dying to have is recognition, is an individuality, is being known, is having an identity, especially the teenagers, because when we were kids, we just had to find relevance in our group of 40 school class children or in the 20 boys and girls in our locality. Now your kids are competing with the kids around the world. Everybody is putting up videos, making them want to feel validated. They also want to be as popular. They want to know likes, how much of dislike. So this lack of identity makes all these youngsters feel very, very lonely. And loneliness gives rise to a craziness that resulted in something called the blue whale. The blue whale was a program that was invented by a Russian psycho, which gave all these teenagers challenges that they had to achieve one by one. Yell at somebody from your window, throw an egg on the road, get in the way of a cyclist. Every challenge slowly became more and more tougher. And every time you did it and you uploaded the video, you got to the next stage. Ladies and gentlemen, it got more and more challenging, even more challenging, till it came to a point when it told the teenagers, take the phone and kill yourself on camera. And there were teenagers around the world just for that validation, just for that recognition, just for that honor or craziness, who were killing themselves on camera because of this blue whale app. Girls jumped off buildings in Singapore. Boys cut their wrist. It was so horrifying that we were living through that era wondering, oh my God, what will happen if I had a kid during that time? What the army and great defense agencies try so hard to cultivate within their soldiers to give their life for the sake of a belief of their protection of their nation. We spend so much time in training them, in motivating them, in feeding them, in feeling them and making them feel relevant and making them feel that their families are taken care of. So you can go and fight bravely for your country and if required, give your life for it. They spend years and crores of rupees trying to motivate somebody to do that. A small app was able to do that to teenagers. That put the fear of God in me. The second thing is, this is a dramatic impact, and I hope that none of our children ever get to see something like this. But even if you take a small thing, like my friend's daughter was very in love with animals. She was going to give her most important 12th standard exam. She loved the dogs, she loved cats and everything. Because she had been studying the whole night, the parents, just relax before you go to the school the next day. She went to the bathroom while sitting in the toilet, she was looking at reels. Somebody from that locality had put a reel of how he was beating a dog to death. Just one crazy idiot, he just said, this dog was barking the whole night and I beat the crap out of the dog. She saw that, she started to cry. It was one of the dogs that she knew. And she failed all her exams. She just couldn't get over the fact that somebody would do something as brutal like this. And imagine a 14-year-old girl seeing something like this early in the morning. This news is not relevant to her. You're not mature enough mentally, physiologically, psychologically to handle this sort of morbid news. That is the reason why we used to have censorship. That is the reason why Appa Amma used to say, "Dey, nalla pasangaloda suthungada, unoda company nalla illa. இவன் நல்ல ஆளு கிடையாது, இந்த பையனோட சுத்தாத அப்படின்னு சொல்றதுக்கு ஒரு காரணம் இருந்துச்சு." இப்போ you cannot say that. Because நல்லவன் கெட்டவன் கொடூரமானவன் பயங்கரமானவன் பைத்தியக்காரன் எல்லாமே அந்த ஃபோன்ல இருக்காங்க. And you have no control over who they are having a conversation with, what is the impact of that conversation, what is the company your child is keeping. The third thing is physiological aspect of it. Most of us are now only engaged in our phones. Even now, I'm not trying to mock you all, but instead of listening to what I'm saying, we are far more engrossed in trying to capture it and seeing if I can make a reel about what is going to happen, and this is what Maddie said. That aspect of making the phone such an important aspect of your life on every minute has made two things happen. One is your spine has started becoming curved at your neck. You're finding it difficult to sleep every day. You're finding your beds to be too soft. You're finding it very difficult to not have neck issues. But let me give you an even more dramatic issue. I want all of you all to hold up both your small fingers, these two fingers. I want you to feel the hand in which you don't use the phone. Just run your hand along the rib and see if there is a dip in your finger. And then do that to the same hand that you use the phone and see if there is a dip in your right or left hand. I promise you, you all have mobile phone fingers. If you can see, I have it myself. There is a dip over here where we use the phone. Can you all feel it? Can you all tell me if you all feel it? Is there a dip in your finger? Your body is changing because of that bloody phone. I'm 55. You're probably, all young and handsome looking guys, but not as old as me. But when children start having that at the age of 10 and 9, then you know that you're going into a completely different world that is going to teach us a very important but dramatic lesson at a great cost before we're able to curtail the damages that this screen time and social media can do to the children. Social media is not all bad. There are extraordinary lessons over there and extraordinary reels. But not all the information is available or should be available to kids at all the time. Because as Kutralishwaran was saying, the ability to focus is so important in today's world that unless your child is an expert, and I'm saying this again, unless your child is an expert in a field, he's not going to survive. Leave alone excel. Unless he's got ultimate knowledge, AI is going to come and it's going to change the world the way you think. It's happening as we speak. There are quantum chips that are coming, which is working at the subatomic particle that's going to change our lives even before we realize. But so unless prompt engineers are going to come and replace all engineers that we know, jobs as we know it is going to change completely. So unless a child has the ability not just to focus, Kutralishwaran, but also implement that focus with grit, they're not going to excel. They're not going to become experts. And again, I'm saying, unless you are an expert in a field, you're not going to survive. Earlier on, if you're sincere, you'll make it. If you're good, then you'll make it bigger. You'll get a better salary. If you're great, then you'll get into IIT, IIM, and maybe get into a big post. But now, unless you're an expert before you go into IIT, you're not going to survive. As you can see, the dropout rate from colleges and people not getting jobs in campus placement is increasing by the year. Why is that? It starts with the grit and focus that Kutralishwaran was talking about at a much younger age. As parents, you're going to become villains if you introduce parent genie at a stage when they have started to have a mind of their own. If your kid is already 9, 10, 11, you'll have to convince them like we had to do over here. So say that again. No. I'm saying I was coming to the point, not 3 and 2. 3 and 2, they don't have the ability to object to what you're saying. At 9 and 10, they're already adults. And they're going to fight you. And you have to convince them that this is for the betterment of and for their own goodness that we're doing this. And somehow convince them that this app needs to be installed. So, it's going to be a different challenge for parents with children of different ages. but we are hoping that we are able to make this essential for every parent who's got a child who's going to get into the phone culture. If this app is already installed, then you know that the child knows that this is the discipline that the parents are expecting from him. So and lastly, what is this app going to do? The thing that this app is going to do is, it's going to allow the parents to know when the child is using the social media. Now, I'm going to give you an example. I'm an actor. I have all these people messaging me on Instagram and social media. I'll tell you a simple example. A young girl messages me, I saw this movie, I really loved it, I thought you're a fabulous actor, well done, you motivate me, this, and at the end of it, she put lots of hearts and kisses and love symbols. Now, when there is a fan who's talking to me in such detail, I'm compelled to answer. So I always say, thank you so very much, very kind of you, God bless you. This is my reply to her. What she does is, she takes a screenshot of my reply to her and makes it as a post on Instagram. Now what do people see? Hearts, kisses and love things, and Maddie's reply to that. My intention was not to reply to that, my intent was to reply to her message. But because it's a small thing, you only see that symbol and think, oh, Maddie's talking to young girls. If that is the fear that I have, and I have to, let me literally say the word, it's like if I have to pussyfoot around every time I'm putting a message on social media, can you imagine that somebody without my experience, how much of trouble they're going to get into? The kids, teenagers don't know when their phones have been turned on, the cameras on their phones have been turned on. The girls don't know that if they're putting their stills from the bathroom, and usually you shouldn't be because they think they're sending it to a friend. And it's really happened. It's really happened. A 13-year-old girl's parents were monitoring her phone, and her friend sent her a picture that this 13-year-old friend's father saw, which he's not supposed to see. Because you don't know who's seeing the picture on the other person's side. So what Parent Genie does is, it allows the parent to allow the child where to use the social media in their house or the screen in their house. So for me also, now I have to be very careful what kind of messages I send. Similarly, I am conscious of the fact of what message I am sending. So similarly, when you know that your parents are looking at the message you are sending, you will become conscious too as a child. That's what we are hoping. What we are also hoping is that whatever is good for the family to hear and talk is good for the child too. So the app allows you to use it only maybe in the drawing room or the living room or the dining room. But the moment you go to the bathroom, or you go into your bedroom, inside your pillow, you want to, like how we used to see magazines you're not supposed to see with torches. The kids do that with phones right now. You can't do it because social media is not active in your bedrooms. Similarly, for educational institutes, the teachers are tired because everybody's armed with knowledge. You talk to the kids, they're going to have another argument which has got no connection to you, and somehow everybody will start laughing. No problem, brother. It's okay, I can still speak. What I'm trying to say is, though the educational institutes have become a challenge for people, especially professors or teachers. So now if the social media is not working in the classrooms, is not working in the faculty rooms, does not work in areas like in the laboratory, but it will still work in cafeterias when the parents allow it or the school allows it. But let's not take away the benefits of a phone from the child. You need to be able to contact the child. It has to be a communication device. In case of a flood or a rain or an emergency, you should be able to call your child. And that is why we think that this will help the child keep the phone in the classroom instead of keeping the phones away from them. Making sure that they learn to use it responsibly. But most importantly, the phone being a communication device as opposed to a bad friend. That is what Parent Genie is hoping to achieve the world over. I think we are finding people resonating with our thoughts and our ability to regulate. And like very clearly put by my friend over here, we don't want our future generation to degenerate. We hope that we're able to inculcate our cultures, make our culture relevant for the child's own survival, and hopefully make successful, happy, and wonderful teenagers around the world. Thank you so very much, ladies and gentlemen. Lovely talking to you.
Thank you so much, Madhavan. And now, if the gentlemen are okay with it, we'll open up the floor for questions. Yes. A lot of eager faces in the audience, so we'll have our representatives bring microphones around. And of course, we'll keep all the questions parent-genie related. So if you do have a question, just raise your hand. We'll give you a microphone and you can introduce yourself. The gentleman over here, can we have a microphone brought to him? You can stand up, please, sir. Thank you.
Hello, this is Arivananda from Navajeevan Express. See, the logo depicts that only the mother is worrying about child's activities. What about the father?
He's paying for it.
I hope that answers your question, sir. Do we have any more questions?
Yes.
Yeah, if we can just pass the microphone to that side.
Yeah, myself Monisha, I run an academy. I just want to know what is the recommended age, like starting age for this app.
I literally have no idea where that question came from.
Oh yeah, okay then.
Okay.
Yeah, myself Monisha, I run an academy. I just wanted to know what is the starting age for this app, like what is
Ma'am, we'll come to your question in just a second. This session is just for the media, so I believe we do have influencers here with us. We'll chat with you all in just a bit. This is a Q&A session for the media, but we'll go ahead and answer your question, ma'am.
So ideally, there is no specific age, but for the kid to understand what is happening, I think ideally 6 is an ideal age as start. Because they will not understand. If you tell 4-year-old, ask for a wish, they don't know. Right now, they only know to swipe up for the next video.
But I think that the age group is not meant for the child. I think this app is meant for the parent. The moment you feel that you now need to regulate the amount of time your child is spending on the screen, that is the right age. So I have seen kids who are being put to, make them to go to sleep. They're like, give the iPad, play the video game till you go to sleep. All that is happening. It's actually the parents' fault. So the parents need it much faster than the kids do, in my opinion.
Hi. Again from here. Mr. Madan.
Okay, sir. Sorry. Kannadi potu kuda therla. Yes, please tell me.
Okay, ஒன்றும் இல்லை. இப்போ ஜாமர் போடுறாங்க இல்லையா, அதே மாதிரி டெக்னாலஜி இதில் யூஸ் பண்ணுறீங்களா? ஈச் அண்ட் எவரி ரூம்.
சரியா கேட்கல சார், சாரி.
இல்லை இப்போ ஜாமர் போடுறாங்க இல்லையா,
ஜாமர்.
ஆமாம், அதே மாதிரி டெக்னாலஜி இதில் யூஸ் பண்ணுறீங்களா?
இல்லை, there is no jammer. So jammer கிடையாது. So we have specifically something called a beacon. So that beacon வந்து நீங்கள் லிவிங் ரூமில் அது மாதிரி எந்த ரூம் நீங்கள் ஆக்டிவ்னு டிசைட் பண்ணுறீங்களோ அந்த ரூமில் வச்சிடலாம். மீதி ரூம்லாம் இட் வில் நாட் ஒர்க். whenever the kid, for example, bedroomலேருந்து லிவிங் ரூம் வரும்போது யூடியூப் ஆக்டிவ் ஆகிடும். அந்த லிவிங் ரூம் விட்டு வெளில போகும்போது யூ ஆர் இன் த ரெஸ்ட்ரிக்டட் ஏரியான்னு சொல்லி அந்த யூடியூப் வந்து ஆக்டிவ் போயிடும்.
Shall we take it as a moral policing of the children?
Yeah, not moral policing for sure, but jammer and sona, it's across the plane, it will jam everything. This will continue to let the phone be a communication device. So you'll still get messages, you'll still get text. Your screen time as far as social media and other apps are concerned, that will be restricted in areas that the beacon is not there.
Okay, thank you.
Any more questions?
One question from this side. What about the cost factor? Can you throw some light on that?
So right now the cost is 3,000 rupees per year per person or 299 rupees per month per person. So per family actually, you can add multiple kids. So let me correct that. You can add as many as kids possible. So based on what you select, it's the number of devices that play a role. Like ஒரு சில பேட்டில் வந்து 10 டிவைஸ் இருக்கும், 4 டிவைஸ் இருக்கும். So we go by devices.
Talk about the free version. Yeah, there's actually a free version available which can be used for up to certain number of kids and devices. But if you have more than X, then you go to the paid plan, which is 300 rupees per month, 299, or 3,000 per year.
I guess that's it.
All right, thank you so much to the audience. We'll now take a short tea break. So please do join us in the pre-function area for tea. And when we come back, we have an exciting panel discussion with Madhavan, our founders, and our experts from the field as well. And for the influencers, we have a short session with you after. So ladies and gentlemen, let's take a 15-minute tea break, and we'll see you back here for the rest of the evening to unfold. Thank you so much. Okay, so a 5-minute break. We'll come back and we'll have the high tea served after. Thank you so much.
Madan, bite மட்டும் நான் போடுறேன்.